Two men are walking into the entrance of a bank in Taipei. They're wearing medical masks and fisher hats. One of them guards the entrance, while the other stands in front of the ATM. He doesn't do anything though. He doesn't withdraw money with a card, nor does he try to blow it up. He just happens. The ATM starts spitting out banknote after banknote. All he has to do is collect the money. They immediately abort and leave. The stranger will find the cash just lying there. Even though it doesn't exactly look like it, he just won their money. 20 others did the same thing at other branches. This is just one puzzle piece of a larger operation. A 2-year-long sophisticated attack that shook the global financial system. 30 countries with stolen one of the biggest bank heists in history, orchestrated by hackers, led by one elusive mastermind. But on this one night in Taipei, he and his team made a crucial mistake. One that they will pay.
So at that point we knew that they were watching what we were doing.
This video on the basis of their documentary series, Tomorrow Unlocked. Also, check out this Darknet Diaries on the story, link in the description. The actual events of this hack are known, but the attacked banks and involved employees. The bank hired Kaspersky to investigate their problem.
Suddenly all your ATMs are empty, you know that something has happened.
This is Jort van der Wiel. He was part of the team on the case. He checks the hard disks of the affected ATMs for malware and finds nothing. Not one suspicious activity, not a single trail to follow. A few months later, van der Wiel gets a call in the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. It's an account manager working for a large Russian bank. He says van der Wiel and his team need to call his IT guy, ASAP, in Russia. The IT guy on the site that's the heart of their server network. If you control the domain, everything. And without a good reason, it's sending data to China. The Kaspersky specialist starts to look for malware right away. Eventually, he finds a software that lets you watch and control a computer remotely. Could it be that the intruder is watching them right now? He has an idea. He opens a Word document and writes the Russian word for hello. They wait for a few minutes. Nothing happens. The hacker answered, which the Kaspersky employee replies, "We will catch you." "No, you will not catch us." Okay, it's on. It will take some time, but eventually the Kaspersky team finds the malware. It is similar to the Garburb Trojan. One configuration file of the malware is called Ananak, so that this Wiel and his colleagues hints about what is going on, and they link it all back to those. Now they can reconstruct how the Carbanak hackers operate. So let's wind back. This is one of the Carbanak hackers. He already got into Sergey's email account, but he wants access to Maxim's computer. So he sends out this Word file exploits vulnerabilities in Microsoft Word to download malware that contains a backdoor. The hacker now has remote access to Maxim's computer, to the whole network, and he knows exactly how to do it. The hacker installs a specific software on Maxim's computer, so he calls IT to come by and check. By the time the IT guy comes over, the hacker has installed a keylogger. This way he will be able to see everything one types into Maxim's keyboard. The IT guy starts to investigate. To do so, he needs to type in his admin password, and bingo. The hacker tries it out on the domain controller, and yep, it's the same. Now he can go look for the computer in the network that controls the money transfers and the ATMs. But he doesn't attack right away. Instead, for months managing the transactions. To steal the money, the Carbanak group developed money from so-called transaction management accounts to their own accounts. To avoid suspicion, they raise the balances by the stolen amount beforehand. Transfers go unnoticed. Another way is to take control of specific ATMs to let into the hands of money mules, the Moldovan mafia, who collect the money and send it to their bosses. In exchange, they get to keep a small cut. The third method is the most sophisticated. The hackers set up a couple of bank accounts in the names of their money mules, including debit cards. Then they make sure they all have the same small amount on it, let's say $3.33. Then they update the bank's database, exchanging that $3.33 for 1 million. Suddenly, all the money now they just use their debit cards to withdraw the cash, suddenly find themselves to be millionaires. The better the Kaspersky team understands the methods of the Carbanak group, the more they begin to grasp how complex this operation is, to hunt them down. They're able to take down some of their servers, but then the hackers start using different tools and continue to work under the radar. In almost 30 countries. Most of the victims are in Russia. Within 2 years, they spend dollars. Stoppable. Someone screws up.
First Bank reported that over 70 million NT dollars withdrawals were made in both Taipei and Taichung across 34 ATMs and 20
But the Taiwanese
checking the CCTVs. We track all the footage from the
全部把22位的一个身份
22, most of them Russian, but 3 remain in the country with the money. Media. To escape, they have to get rid of the money somehow. One of them hides 2 sports bags with some of the money and hides there. Police back to this elderly man found one of the bags. The police seize the second bag and search for the other money mules. A man called Bobby hides the rest of the money in 2 suitcases and stows them in 2 lockers at Taipei Central Station, suitcases from the main station. They go to a hotel to have brunch. As they sit down, they're interrupted by the police.
Put down the knife, your fork.
Нас двое.
Нет, целая группа.
Чего группа?
Вот это преступление.
In their hotel room, law enforcement finds banknotes that are worth roughly 1.5 million US dollars. Taiwanese police managed to recover 90% of the stolen money. The 3 money mules are sentenced to a little over 4 years in prison. These guys are just low-level operatives, but on the phone money in various currencies. They also find emails from the suspected head of the Carbonac Group. The FBI, cybersecurity companies, and several authorities from different countries work tirelessly to find the Carbonac mastermind. Little do they know he is hiding all the way across the globe, living a life. March 6, 2018. This is Dennis. He's Ukrainian, but now he lives with his wife and son in Alicante, Spain. He's a rather private person. He doesn't really leave the house. Right now, as per usual, he's coding new malware. He's one of the best of his trade. To keep a low profile, he does most of his spending in Bitcoin. At the time, he's worth 15,000 Bitcoins. In 2018, that was worth roughly $162 million. Today, it would be more than $1 billion. But there are not a lot of car or house sellers like to be paid in digital currencies, so he needs to use real money to buy these. This is what tipped off the police. They start to follow the money and eventually realize who he is. The forensic team immediately starts to collect evidence. The authorities and jewelry, valued at $500,000, and of course, but the vast majority of the stolen $1 billion remains missing to this day. Carbonac operation, but he certainly didn't work alone.
We think there are at least between 10 and 30 people altogether that was able to pull this scheme off.
You can make to know the difference which group is using what code, because the code is very similar. It's very hard to arrest a piece of code.
The Carbonac malware still exists today. The hackers who use it go by many names. Fin7, Russian cybercriminals, are given free rein by the Russian government in order to cause chaos in the Western world. Now, this could have easily been avoided. The Carbonac Group exploited a vulnerability in Microsoft Word, so make sure to keep your systems up to date. It could save your employer a couple million.